October 26, 2014, from FirstEnergy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. It was the Oakland Raiders at the Cleveland Browns. And the Browns won the toss and they elected to defer, so the Oakland Raiders would take over first. They started things off on their own 20. They reached midfield and got into field goal range. They actually came out in a field goal formation on 4th and 12 from the 39, but they ended up fumbling the ball. It was like they were going for it. They tried to... It was crazy. They fumbled it, then they threw an interception. And so the Browns, Taj Gibson intercepted and got the ball. And it was just really crazy. So now the Browns took over on the Oakland 48 with 11 minutes left in the first, and they wouldn't really get too far. They did pick up a first down that got them to the 34, and that was close enough for Billy Cundiff to come out and attempt a 52-yard field goal. It was up, it was good, and the Cleveland Browns got on the scoreboard first with the score 3-0. So now the Raiders took over on their own 15 with about 10 minutes left in the first, and 6 plays later, they would end up punting the ball after reaching the 41. So now Cleveland took over with less than 7 minutes left in the first. They had the ball on their own 29. They reached midfield, and it was crazy. It was 2nd and 11 from the 28. Hoyer hit Gabriel for a 48-yard pass that brought it to the 24. So now they're in field goal range. They got into the red zone, but their drive stalled on the 15, and Billy Cundiff came out to kick his second field goal of the game to make it 6-0 off the 33-yard field goal. So now the Browns led by 6. So now the Raiders took over, and they would go 3 and out. And now the Browns got the ball back with a minute left in the first quarter, and they would bring the first quarter to a close with the score Cleveland 6, Oakland nothing. And so on the first play of the second quarter, the Browns would punt the ball after having gone 3 and out on that possession. So now the Raiders took over on their own 20, and after 6 plays, they would punt the ball as well. So now the Browns took over on their own 14 with about 11 minutes left in the game. Hoyer hit Cameron for an 18-yard pass to bring the ball out to the 32. And then a few plays later, they ended up reaching midfield and crossing into Oakland territory when Hoyer hit Hawkins for a 17-yard pass on first down from the 44 that brought it to the Oakland 39. Then on 2nd and 10 from the 39, Hoyer hit Cameron for a 21-yard pass. Cameron was injured during the play, and there was an unnecessary roughness call against the Raiders. But now it's 1st and goal on the Oakland 9. They lost a yard on first down, then an incomplete pass would bring up 3rd and 10, but then a false start would make it 3rd and 15. But then Hoyer hit Gabriel for a 12-yard pass, so now it was 4th and 3, and they kicked the field goal, but it was nullified because of penalties, and so now they brought the ball back another 5 yards, and Billy Cundiff then kicked a 26-yarder, and it was up, and it was good, and it was now 9-0 Cleveland over Oakland. So now the Raiders took over with less than 6 minutes left before halftime. They had the ball on their own 20, and on 2nd and 2 from the 46, a few plays later, Derek Carr hit Rivera for a 22-yard pass that brought the ball to the Cleveland 32. Their drive ended up stalling on the Cleveland 27 a few plays later, and Sebastian Janikowski came out to attempt a 46-yard field goal. It was up, it was good, and the Raiders got on the scoreboard as the score was now 9-3 Cleveland over Oakland. So now Cleveland would get the ball with less than 2 minutes left in the first half, and after 3 plays, they punted, so they went 3 and out. So now the Raiders got the ball back with about a minute and a half left in the first half. They had it on their own 37, and they took advantage of the opportunity as Derek Carr hit Holmes for a 31-yard pass on first down that brought the ball into Cleveland territory at the 32. So they had a first down on the 32. They got brought back off a false start, and then on 1st and 15 from the 37, Derek Carr hit Tompkins for a 15-yard pass to pick up the first down and bring the ball to the 22. Derek Carr ran up to the line and he spiked the ball as there was just seconds left. He then hit Tompkins for a 2-yard pass, and then he spiked the ball again with just 2 seconds left, and Sebastian Janikowski came out and he kicked a 38-yard field goal. It was up, it was good, and it was now 9-6 going into halftime. So at halftime, the Browns led by a field goal. And to start things off in the second half, the Browns had the ball and they went 3 and out. The Raiders would do the same on their first possession of the second half, and they punted it back to Cleveland, who would go 3 and out for a second consecutive possession in the second half. So now the Raiders got the ball, and they would end up going 3 and out again as well. There was a little bit of craziness on that punt, though, is there was a fumble, but Cleveland recovered, and so they still ended up with the ball. And now with 8.5 minutes left in the third, they would end up punting after 4 plays. So now the Raiders would get the ball with about 7 minutes left in the third quarter. They were backed up against their own end zone on their own 9-yard line, and they would end up getting out of the shadow of their end zone, and they actually brought the ball to midfield, and they brought it into Cleveland territory. So they were poised and ready to score. It was 2nd and 6 from the Cleveland 29, and Darren McFadden got the call. He ran for 9 yards, but then he got blown up by Whitner, and he fumbled the ball, and Haden recovered. And now Cleveland got the ball on their own 47 with less than 30 seconds left in the third. They brought the third quarter to a close with a pass from Hoyer to Hawkins for 32 yards that brought the ball to the edge of the red zone, and after 3, it was 9-6 Cleveland over Oakland. So to start things off in the fourth quarter, it was 1st and 10 from the Oakland 21 for the Browns. And then Hoyer ended up hitting Dre for a 16-yard pass that made it 1st and goal on the 5. And then a couple plays later, it was 2nd and goal. Hawkins then caught a 4-yard touchdown pass from Brian Hoyer, and the Browns were now up by 10 with the score 16-6, Cleveland over Oakland. So now Oakland took over on their own 20, and after 5 plays, they would end up punting the ball. Cleveland then ended up punting the ball after 4 plays. And now the Raiders would get the ball back, and they would go 3 and out. And so now the Browns would have the ball back, and after 6 plays, they would punt the ball. So now there was less than 4 minutes left in this game, and the Raiders had the ball in their own 13, trailing by 10 points. Derek Carr then hit McFadden for a 1-yard pass, and that made it 2nd and 9 from the 14. Carr dropped back, and he fumbled the ball. Mingo forced the fumble, and so now the Browns took over on the Oakland 9-yard line as they started their drive with 1st and goal. Ben Tate picked up 4 yards on 1st down, and then on 2nd and goal from the 5, Ben Tate punched it in from 5 yards out to make it 23-6, Browns over the Raiders. So now the Raiders took over with 2.5 minutes left in this game. They had it on their own 20. They marched down the field, and on 3rd and 10 from the Cleveland 10, it was 3rd and goal, and Derek Carr hit Holmes for a 10-yard touchdown pass as the Raiders got into the end zone for the first time in this game. The score was now 23-13. But with just seconds left on the clock, it was too little too late. Brian Hoyer would end up taking a knee after an onside kick. Well, the kick went out of bounds. Onside kick attempt ended up out of bounds. And so Hoyer took the knee, and the final score, Cleveland 23, Oakland 13. And with the victory, the Browns are now 4-3 on the season, and the Raiders remain winless at 0-7. And in this game, Brian Hoyer was 19 for 28 with 275 passing yards and a touchdown. He also rushed for a yard off of a carry, 2 carries. Derek Carr was 34 for 54 with 328 passing yards and a touchdown. The leading rusher in this game was Darren McFadden with 59 yards off of 12 carries. The leading receiver in this game was Hawkins with 88 yards off of 7 receptions, one of which was for a touchdown. The leading tackler in this game, it was a tie, as each team had a tackler with 9 tackles. Joe Haden for the Browns had 9 tackles, and for Oakland, both Moore and Burris had 9 tackles. The Raiders had 1 sack. That was Justin Tuck, the former Giant. And the Browns had 3 sacks, all of which were for Paul Kruger. As for interceptions, the lone interception in this game was by Tayshaun Gibson, as he got that 1 pick off a Carr. And the final score in this game, Cleveland 23, Oakland 13.